Hi everyone. Today we are having Adrien. Adrien, thank you so much for coming. Could you please introduce yourself in a couple of sentences?
Sure. So first of all, thank you, Malika, for having me here for this interview, this podcast. So I've been in crypto for a long time. I actually started my journey back in 2013, and now I'm working actively in the industry, in the SEX listing business industry for different centralized exchange. And I've actually expanded my scope of work for as advisor lately. And so I'm based in Taiwan. I really love crypto. Crypto is one of my passion. I really like the value, the value of decentralization carried by crypto, this idea that we don't need an intermediate anymore to gain trust and to establish a transaction between two parties. So that's pretty much what I've been doing lately.
Yeah, interesting. And how did you first become interested in crypto? It was like very early, right?
So it's kind of a long journey. So as I was saying, I first encountered Bitcoin back in 2013. That time Bitcoin was $80. So I was actually, I bought a bit of Bitcoin on a P2P market to actually use it. Maybe you know Silk Road, the dark web platform. Basically, I was buying Bitcoin to use it on the platform. So that was quite some time ago, 12 years ago. Unfortunately, I didn't keep any of these Bitcoins, unfortunately. Should have, but anyway. And I invested myself. I started to learn more about what actually is crypto back in 2017. So, Ethereum was not that old during that time. We're talking about smart contracts. There was, lots of talks about Litecoin and so on. The first exchanges I was using was Poloniex. So it was a bit a crazy time. So that's when I first really got into the technical side of crypto, understanding the value proposition. I actually mined a bit myself, I was like looking a little bit around. That's when I got into crypto. And in terms of professionally, I went to live in South Korea from 2018 to 2023, so almost half a decade. And it's actually in Korea that I started working for centralized exchange for Probit back in 2022. And now it's been 3 years. I've been professionally working in crypto.
Wow, that's very interesting. So you've worked in exchanges, VC, advisory, legal, and market making, right? And you've built a career in the eye of Web3 storms, like bearish market. You've seen everything. And what really keeps you in this volatile game, like ambition, adrenaline? What's that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what keeps me in crypto, I would say that crypto is evolving so fast, so there's always something new, there's always something popping up. I like this, this fast-paced industry, this fast-paced environment. And the people in crypto are a little bit different than maybe, traditional finance or Web2 companies. I think in crypto, people have different value. They really carry this idea of decentralization, that anyone can start his own crypto, anyone can start his own, start to provide services. There's lots of this remote culture, remote working culture. So I feel that's really, if people want to work from home rather than go to the office, I like that we give freedom to the people. It's true that sometimes it's extremely volatile. I believe that if I could analyze why is the case, I think because crypto is a new industry, is only less than 20 years old. There's lots of speculation as what future value it can bring to all the actors in the ecosystem, but also beyond. So of course, there's also some people who are, riding on that wave without necessarily giving a value proposition. So I think there's definitely some bubbles that need to burst in crypto, as it is for any new industry popping up. But yeah, I mean, I believe really we have an amazing technology with blockchain, and we're here to stay for the future.
Thank you, Adrien. Yeah, we're gonna touch like all the fields you were working on a little bit. So let's talk about what do you think about token listing that can make or break a project? What's the real difference between a listing that pumps and one that fades in 48 hours?
Yeah, so that's a great question also. So it really depends when a token get listed on centralized exchange. The price action just after post listing 24 hours, 48 hours is going to depend also on how many tokens are unlocked, held by investors. So because that is going to induce some selling pressure. So we're talking about investors that, VCs that are there at, seed or pre-seed rounds, or other rounds of VCs other rounds of investment where VC came in. We're also talking about how much the team needs to sell to make some profit. We're also talking about the tokens that are released from launchpads eventually that project is holding. And then basically it all comes down to how much buying pressure there is and how much selling pressure there is. So the selling pressure is mostly influenced by how many tokens there is out there. I mean, truth is, most of VCs, they just want to sell right away because, they invested, they took a risk, they want to make a profit. But then you can mitigate that by working with some market makers or some group who really handle your liquidity in a way to absorb that selling pressure. And of course, it depends on the utility case of the token. So if the token is just simply a meme coin, then you need to be really creative to find to get some buying pressure. Mostly you'll get that by beautiful looking charts. And then if you have a protocol, if you have an app, of course people need to buy the token to use your product, right? So it's going to depend on so many parameters. And even very successful tokens, they actually kind of the price go down in the first 20, 48 hours, even the first several weeks, and then it goes back up. You can look at projects like, for example, Aptos. When it launched, the price went down by quite a bit, but around 1 month after, I don't remember exactly, but quite some, not that long after, it did 200 or 300%. So it really, is a matter of timing and, of course, also market condition. It impacts on right now is not the best market condition to launch, obviously. So that's also what's gonna influence the price 24 to 48 hours after listing.
Okay, thanks. And what do you think? What's the most common mistake that teams make before launching on an SX or a DEX, and why?
I'd say that most biggest mistake I see is founders of project thinking that listing alone on a centralized exchange is going to create some buying pressure or some organic demand by itself. So you can't, nowadays, there's hundreds of crypto, thousands of crypto who are launched every month, who get listed on centralized exchange, like literally thousands every month. So you cannot simply, one can not simply expect to have success simply by listing on a centralized exchange, even a top 20 centralized exchange. So project, they need to do the homework, they need to work on the marketing campaign, they need to work on their customer user acquisition, they need to work on all these metrics, they need to work on the product. They simply cannot rely on the centralized exchange listing, I'd say.
Yeah, thanks. And speaking about launchpads, how to choose the right one and what are the red flags?
So when you want to choose a launchpad, there's different types of launchpads you're going to be able to work with. So some launchpads are permissionless. So you have, for example, Pink Sale or Gempa. There's many of them. So anyone can launch there. You just have to pay a little fee, and then there's no selection process basically. Anyone can launch their token there. Then you have other launchpads where they ask some flat fee. They will ask 10k USDT, 20k USDT. I mean, it depends on the launchpad. And then they take care of doing marketing for you, and they have this selection process. So they're not going to launch any project that come by. They'll choose project where the quality is good enough. Of course, it ranges in function of the quality of that launchpad. And then they ask no percentage on the success. On the amount raised. And then you have launchpads who have a very tough selection process. They do extensive due diligence when choosing the project that they will host on their launchpad platform, and then you can expect to raise a big amount of money. I mean, if the setting and the parameter, including market conditions, are good, and these launchpads. They're going to look at which exchange is confirmed, which VC is backing the project. What is the team track record? Is it their first crypto they're launching? Do they have several successful tokens they launched in the past? So, it really depends. You mentioned a red flag. I would say basically launchpad who will promise you they're going to raise millions when at any time when it's simply it depends also on the project, how much effort and money you spend on the marketing.
Totally, yeah. Thanks. And you also work as an advisor, and currently you're advising, I know about 3 projects: Punkvism, Metabro, and Linework. Why did you choose them, and why do they need you?
Yeah, I mean that's been an amazing adventure. Actually, I've been asked to join these teams. I actually help them when it comes to. I mean, my role is a bit different in every project, but in a nutshell, I help with everything that's, of course, related to centralized exchange listing, as I have the knowledge and the expertise in that domain, having seen the launch of numerous projects. I also help them obviously getting the best listing price, being connected to the best market maker. Market making is very important when you launch on a centralized exchange, and you also want to be working with the right market maker, because even though a market maker is just, at first it's just there to support the order book, it's just there to take care of the liquidity. There's a difference between a good market maker and an excellent market maker, and it will have an effect on the trading chart. And nowadays you attract more organic volume, more retail investors, as I said before, with a beautiful trading chart. It's been an amazing experience. And of course, I leverage my network and help them, for fundraise, help them for everything related to a successful launching strategy before they get listed on centralized exchange.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, you've mentioned market making. What do you think? What's a common misconception that founders face about market making?
It depends, of course, on the level of knowledge of these founders, but I've seen founders thinking that the market maker will pump the price of the token just like that, or that the market maker will be will be able to increase the price just by doing market making, which is obviously not true. That being said, the market maker can actually, by using their liquidity management strategy and their algorithm. And I'm not a market maker myself, but they have lots of different tools, lots of different strategy, and even though they will not be the one who will, by itself pump the token, they definitely play an important role in the growth of your token, and also in protecting you from arbitrage, and make sure that your liquidity is more efficiently allocated in between the DEX and the SEX if you're listed in different places.
Yeah, and you've seen the market making from the inside. What are the shady tactics that still happen today, and why? and how?
Yeah, I mean, there's some market makers that still do lots of we call it wash trading, or they simply is artificial volume. So it does it shows like lots of daily trading volume on a certain trading pair, but then there's no actual real organic volume. But like is also is more nuanced and subtle than that, I'd say. In some cases, you actually need to, when a project launch, they need to have some volume. They need to attract. It's a matter of attracting the real volume where it is. So back in 2021, we had an amazing bull run, an amazing alt season. We actually had more liquidity than in 2021, but there's much more projects. There's like 10 times, or there's much more projects. So actually, there's much less liquidity to be available to grasp by all these different projects. And then you have tokens like Trump, for example, the Trump token, who absorbed a huge load of all that ambient liquidity all around. So projects, they need to, the strategy to be successful are different than it was like 4 years ago, like in 2025. So even though you want organic volume, but you also need to make your token look attractive, your trading chart look attractive, and you're not gonna attract users if you have no trading volume, basically. So it's kind of, you have to find the right balance between obviously making, having a good strategy with your market makers, and also doing enough marketing to attract the retail user, and then leverage that volume you have and transform it into a snowball effect to have a project doing, grasping all that available liquidity in the market.
Yeah, it's complicated to find this balance. Totally. Yeah. Also, Adrien, you've sat at both sides of the table, startup and investor. What do Web3 founders still misunderstand about VC expectations?
I'd say the biggest misunderstanding would be how much FDV the VCs, the founders, they expect they can get in, because of course for founders of projects, they're aiming to they aiming to start big. They see a strong valuation in their project, but the reality is that actually, like, even 10 million valuation is actually pretty big if you compare to Web2 or regular traditional companies. So everything in crypto tends to be a little bit inflated. So when I see projects, asking to raise fund at 50 million FDV, 100 million FDV, 200 million FDV, is just simply not realistic. So I think that's the biggest misconception I keep seeing. But in the end, the VC are the ones who have the decision power, and they, at the end, when the founders get an offer, I mean, even though it's lower than what they want, they tend to still take it down.
Yeah. And what's the red flag during the pitch? What pitch format or behavior instantly turns you off as an investor or deal maker?
I'd say what turns me off, I mean, it's just a feeling, of how professional is the team. Is like little things like, being on time on the call, having everything, how much they're prepared, how much willingness, how much effort and work they're putting. So, but of course, there's also other metrics, like if you're going to look at how many, what's the vesting. So some projects, they want the vesting schedule is crazy, like 24 months or something like that. Of course, VC are not going to want to put money in this. Is too long-term, too much of a long-term risk. Tokenomics, how much the team is owning. Sometimes it goes a bit overboard. Usually team like to own maybe around 10 to 15, I mean, it's case by case, right? But 10 to 15%. But these are the red flags. But it's really, you can have projects who, group of founders who make mistakes, but you see their hard work, and you see they're actually gonna learn if they get the right feedback, and then you have another meeting with them, you keep following what they're doing, and you see they're learning from the mistake and they're adjusting and working fast. So I'm not against projects making mistakes as long as they respond in a fast manner and willing to learn or like adjust what's lacking in the pitch.
Yeah, thank you. And please give an advice, just one advice for all the young founders, first-time founders in Web3.
Yeah, my advice is, just do it, right? Just get your pitch deck, go to offline events, go meet people in crypto conferences. Is one thing, of course, to have meetings online and so on. But yeah, my advice would be get out there, go to meetings, small meetings, big conferences. Like go out there and meet people in on-site setting. That's the best way. You can actually create some fruitful partnership.
Thank you. Yeah, very valuable advice. Thanks, Adrien. Let's try another thing. I will give you I will ask you questions. You please answer quickly and don't think. Just
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Sex or DEX for new listings?
For new listings, sex.
Okay. Most overrated term in crypto?
AI.
One thing you never skip in due diligence?
One thing I never skip in due diligence. I'll use Joker for this one. That's actually a tougher question than what it looks like.
Okay. Advisory fee in tokens or cash? What's your ratio?
For me would be in cash. I mean, in stable coins, yeah.
Okay. One Web3 leader you'd love to debate on stage?
I mean, if I could really choose, I would love to talk with CZ. I love CZ, so.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Adrien, for coming today. It was very nice chatting. And it was inspiring, actually.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Malika. And yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. And hopefully, I want to say to everyone listening, if you want to contact me, probably you'll send the links and contact information. You can also find me on LinkedIn, right? Just Adrien Long, Bitmart, and looking forward to working together.
Awesome! Thank you so much. Yeah, we will definitely put all the links in the description of the video. And I guess my colleagues will let you know when the video is posted. And if you want to, I don't know, edit or change anything, just let us know. But I think everything was great. It was fun. And
okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adrien. Good night, and was nice meeting you.
Okay, thank you so much, Malika. Bye-bye.
Bye.